Hey there, CrossFit Closer family. Coach Adam here for part 3 of our 4 weeks to a better handstand. So part 1, we talked a little bit about loading the shoulder, just getting the body kind of in an upside down position. Day 2 was all about the headstand and starting to learn about finding balance. Today is going to be about loading the shoulder upside down. So we're going to work on our handstand today, kicking up and a wall walk. So a couple quick words before we get started. One is if you're brand new to this, start with the first video and work your way up. Have somebody watch you, have some support, have a coach. That's always the best way. And then number 2, obviously before we start moving, let's get warmed up. So if you've seen the other 2 parts, this will be exactly the same warm-up. We're going to do a little 3-round warm-up of 5 burpees, 10 T's, and 10 Y's. Get the blood flowing and get the shoulders warmed up. So, a quick recap on the burpee. All we're gonna look for here is that you're gonna get yourself all the way down to the floor. You're gonna get up and then celebrate the fact that you were able to get up the floor. 5 of those, we're gonna hinge at the hips and then make a T, as you can see here, a T with the shoulders relative to the body. 10 of those, and then we're gonna make a Y. Same thing, bringing the arms straight up overhead, and we'll go 3 rounds of that. 5 burpees, 10 T's, 10 Y's, and then we should be good to go. All right, so if you got your warm-up done and you are ready to go, it's time to get moving here. And we've got 2 pieces today. One is gonna be a wall walk, which is just a kind of a less scary way potentially to get into a handstand as opposed to kicking up. And that's going to give us some exposure to being upside down, supported on our arms alone. And then the second part is going to be the kick up. So that one handstand is going to be wall facing and the other one will be facing out. The second one is the one that you'll use for handstand push-ups eventually. And realistically, that's the way you're going to kick into a freestanding handstand. So we'll start with the wall walk and then we'll work into the kick up. So one main thing here that we haven't talked a whole lot about yet, and that's going to be midline control. So midline, basically I'm just calling anything from the shoulder down to the hip, all of that in between. Some people call it core, call it whatever you want. I want it to be stiff and strong. So as we're doing this movement, I'm squeezing my abs basically the whole time. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of what that wall walk is going to look like, and then we'll talk about a couple variations. So I'm going to start myself in a push-up position, and then I'm going to start taking my feet up the wall. I'm squeezing my abs real tight to avoid doing any of this. So abs are squeezed, and I'm walking up small little steps with the goal of taking my forehead to the wall and not having my belly against the wall. So I just want forehead or nose and toes. From there, I'm going to walk myself back. Now, if that's not accessible, that's okay. There are in-between steps that we can work with here. So what you're gonna do if that's not accessible yet is you're just not gonna go the whole distance. So another example, say I start walking myself up and this is just it. That's as far as I'm gonna be able to go. I'm uncomfortable there. I'm going to bring the chest through, find that straight body position, and then walk myself down, just like I would a regular handstand. So I want to make sure that I'm not finishing in a closed shoulder. I always want to open up to reinforce that position and to get more and more comfortable with it. Once you're pretty good with that, and you can hang out in that wall walk, wall facing handstand position for, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, pretty comfortably, then we can start working on that kick up to the facing out handstand. All right, now, so if you spent some time in that handstand facing the wall and you're feeling pretty comfortable and you want to take that next step to the wall kick up, this is what we're going to do. So a couple things maybe before we go and kick up to the wall. A couple setup pieces. You're going to want to set your hands at least 6-8 inches from the wall, maybe even a little bit more. I don't want to be too close because if I'm too close I'm going to bounce off the wall, and I don't want to be too far. If I'm too far I'm going to end up at an angle to the wall that's going to be pretty uncomfortable and hard to maintain that nice tight midline. So I'll just start with the way that I like to do it. I'm going to set myself in a staggered stance, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And you're gonna feel which way feels better. For me, I know that I like to kick up with that left leg, so I'm gonna step out in front with the right. I'm gonna reach for the floor, that back leg's gonna come off the ground, and then as my hands touch the ground and the back leg starts swinging up, I'm gonna push off of the standing leg. It's gonna look something like this. Hands to the floor, leg up, push off. And then I'm looking to get into this position that's similar to the wall walk. I'm in a nice straight body. I'm not arched and broken. Butt squeeze, leg squeeze, ab squeeze, and I'm pressing away hard. I don't have a closed shoulder. I'm bringing the chest through to be in a nice straight line. When I come down, I'm gonna come down 1 foot at a time, nice and gently. If that is terrifying, you're gonna start practicing kick-ups with a little smaller range of motion. So the first one here, I'm gonna set my hands on the ground. I'm gonna lift my hips up nice and high. I'm gonna walk my 1 foot forward so I'm in that staggered position. And I'm just gonna do what we call donkey kick. So I'm gonna kick up a little bit. Kick up a little bit more. A little bit further. And I'm just now starting to reach the wall with my foot. Once I can reach it, I can join it with the other foot, and I'm in my handstand. So take your time working up to that. Make sure arms stay locked out. At no point during this do you want to kick up to a handstand with a bent elbow. It's unlikely to support you. You're likely going to go towards your head. So straight arm, look out away from the wall as you kick up so that your head doesn't touch it, and squeeze everything. Same thing as the other ones. If you work on this, say 5-10 minutes per day, 5 days a week, you know, working on increasing the time that you're up there, working on bettering the positions that you're in while you're up there, building up more and more time while you're up there. Then by next week, when we start working on freestanding and handstand walking, you're all set. Take care, we'll see you next week.